Is there a chance Dick Grayson could soon be making his way to the world of the Batman? What hint did the movie drop that implied he could? Keep watching to find out about this comics Easter egg. Director Matt Reeves as the Batman delivers a brand new version of the Caped Crusader to the big screen. Sure, DC fans are incredibly familiar with Bruce Wayne's origin after seeing it several times in animation and live action. But this is a much darker film that takes a precise look at the tortured vigilante a couple of years into his crime-fighting career. The film has already been a huge hit with critics. Daily Star's Andy Lee calls it a gritty, pacey, and achingly stylish adventure, while the Digital Fix's Tom Percival says it's surprisingly hopeful. It's fair to say that this new take on Gotham City does feel grimier than previous iterations of the Bat's home turf. It's stylistically similar to the world of David Fincher's Seven, with hints of Zodiac in there for good measure. This largely stems from Paul Dano's haunting depiction of the Riddler as a terrifying serial killer who takes aim at the corrupt Gotham elite. Thankfully, Robert Pattinson's Bruce isn't alone in his mission to serve justice on city streets. He's also joined by anti-hero Catwoman, played by Zoe Kravitz, and Police Lieutenant James Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright. The film isn't crammed with Easter eggs like other comic book movies that dominate the box office, but there are a few carefully placed references to classic DC characters. The plot itself takes cues from classic Batman storylines such as Year One, The Long Halloween, and Zero Year, but there's also a surprising nod to one of the most famous members of the Bat family, Nightwing. By the end of The Batman, Catwoman, aka Selina Kyle, decides that it's time for her to leave Gotham for a while. It's an understandable move because part of her arc revolves around finding who killed her best friend Annika and why. To make matters worse, Selina is forced to confront the fact that she's the illegitimate daughter of mobster Carmine Falcone. He abandoned Selina's mother after their brief fling, and she was forced to grow up in poverty as a result. Falcone, meanwhile, only grew more powerful. So after she helps Batman stop the Riddler's plan, she tells the Dark Knight she might head to Bloodhaven. That's a loaded reference for comics readers. Bloodhaven is a city not too far from Gotham. It's also where Dick Grayson, who became Nightwing after being Robin, moves in the comics when he starts to forge his own identity away from Batman.
Pranks, jokes, and tomfoolery have no place here, and my identity must reflect that. From this day forward, call me Nightwing.
As he soon finds out, Bloodhaven is an incredibly violent place, and there aren't any superheroes operating there because of how ruthless the villains are. Nightwing is the one who makes a stand when Bruce asks him to investigate a string of deaths in 1996's Nightwing issue number 1. It's not enough for Dick just to patrol the streets at night, though, as he needs reliable intelligence to take down gangsters like Blockbuster. He even ends up becoming a police officer by day. While it's entirely possible that Reeves and his co-writer Peter Craig will introduce Dick Grayson further down the line, the Bloodhaven reference probably isn't a hint that Nightwing will show up in the Batman 2. Even if they introduce Grayson in the sequel, he'll probably start off as Robin to explore that dynamic with Batman, rather than stepping into his Nightwing persona straight away. Name-dropping Bloodhaven is more likely just a bit of world-building. However, that's not to say Nightwing won't make the leap to the big screen eventually. Warner Brothers picked the Tomorrow War director Chris McKay to helm a solo movie for the hero in the DC Extended Universe. When speaking to Den of Geek back in 2021, McKay said he still wants to work on the project. I hope that we get a chance to go out and make that Dick Grayson and Nightwing film. That particular part of Robin growing from being under Batman to becoming Nightwing and Bloodhaven and all that stuff. It's a really personal story to me. For Nightwing fans desperate to see the hero in live action, at least HBO Max's Titans will scratch that itch. Brenton Thwaites plays a version of the hero that's become a real fan favorite, and it's not hard to see why. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about the Batman are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.